Aquarius, November 2025 isn't just a shift, it's a cosmic jolt. With Mercury retrograde stirring your future plans and a full moon igniting your passions, the universe is rewriting your emotional and strategic playbook. Prepare for revelations, realignments, and breakthroughs that will reshape your path in ways you never expected. Chapter 1, November 1st to 10th. Awakening and Alignment. Aquarius, as November 2025 begins, the cosmos is stirring your inner world with subtle yet powerful vibrations. This first decade of the month is a time of awakening, an energetic recalibration that sets the tone for the rest of the lunar cycle. The planetary alignments are not loud, but they are precise, and for you they activate the deeper layers of your psyche, your ambitions, and your intuitive faculties. The Sun continues its transit through Scorpio until November 10th, illuminating your 10th house of career, reputation, and public standing. Scorpio's influence here is transformative. You're not just thinking about success, you're contemplating legacy. The Sun in this sector urges you to examine the power dynamics in your professional life. Who holds influence? Where do you feel empowered or disempowered? This is a time to reclaim authority not through force but through strategic presence. Scorpio's energy is surgical. It cuts away what's false and exposes what's real. Expect revelations about your role, your ambitions, and the structures that support or suppress your growth. Mercury, also in Scorpio, begins its pre-retrograde shadow phase during this period. Though the retrograde doesn't officially begin until November 14th, the shadow phase is when the themes of the retrograde start to surface. For Aquarius, this means subtle shifts in communication within professional settings. You may notice delays, misunderstandings, or recurring thoughts about past decisions. Pay attention, these are clues. Mercury is preparing to take you on a journey of mental excavation, and the groundwork is being laid now. Neptune continues its sextile to your decan, a long-term transit that enhances your intuition, spiritual sensitivity, and creative imagination. This aspect is subtle but profound. You may feel more attuned to the emotional undercurrents around you, more receptive to symbolic language, and more drawn to metaphysical exploration. Neptune's influence here is not about escapism, it's about transcendence. You're being invited to see beyond the surface, to interpret the hidden meanings in your experiences, and to trust your inner knowing. This is an excellent time to engage with practices that deepen your intuitive clarity. Uranus, your modern ruler, remains in Taurus and continues its trine to your decan. This is a rare and supportive aspect that encourages innovation, liberation, and authentic self-expression. Uranus in Taurus activates your 4th house of roots, home, and emotional foundations. The trine to your Sun suggests that changes in your personal life, especially those related to stability and security, are unfolding with grace. You may feel a growing desire to redefine what home means to you, or to restructure your emotional base in a way that supports your evolving identity. This is not chaos, it's conscious evolution. Mars in Cancer begins to form a sextile to your decan starting November 10th. This transit adds a layer of emotional drive and assertiveness. Mars in Cancer is protective, intuitive, and tenacious. In sextile to Aquarius, it empowers you to act on your emotional insights with precision. You may feel a surge of motivation to defend your boundaries, pursue emotionally resonant goals, or initiate changes that support your inner well-being. Mars here is not aggressive, it's strategic. Use this energy to take action where it matters most. Venus remains in Sagittarius during this period, transiting your 11th house of friendships, networks, and aspirations. This placement enhances your social magnetism and supports harmonious interactions within groups. Venus in Sagittarius is adventurous, optimistic, and truth-seeking. For Aquarius, this transit encourages you to connect with people who share your vision, your ideals, and your thirst for growth. It's a time to refine your alliances, to seek out those who elevate your thinking, and to invest in relationships that support your long-term goals. Jupiter retrograde in Gemini continues to influence your 5th house of creativity, pleasure, and self-expression. While retrograde, Jupiter's expansive energy turns inward. You're being asked to reassess what brings you joy, what fuels your creative fire, and what forms of expression truly reflect your essence. This is not a time for external validation. It's a time for internal alignment. Jupiter retrograde here invites you to reconnect with your authentic passions and to explore new ways of sharing your gifts with the world. The North Node in Aries continues its transit through your third house of communication, learning, and mental agility. This karmic point is guiding you toward greater clarity, courage, and directness in your speech. You're being asked to refine your voice, to speak your truth, and to engage with ideas that challenge and expand your perspective. The North Node here is not about comfort, it's about growth. Lean into conversations that stretch your thinking and awaken your curiosity. As the first decade of November comes to a close, the energy begins to shift. The Sun prepares to enter Sagittarius, Mercury inches closer to retrograde, and Mars strengthens its influence. You'll feel a growing sense of urgency, a call to act on the insights you've gathered. But don't rush. The deeper work begins in the next chapter, when reflection becomes the key to transformation. In summary, November 1st to 10th is a period of awakening and alignment for Aquarius. The planetary transits activate your professional ambitions, intuitive clarity, and emotional foundations. You're being guided to refine your vision, deepen your connections, and prepare for the strategic recalibrations ahead. Trust the process. The universe is whispering. Listen closely. Chapter 2, November 11th to 20th, Strategic Reflection and Emotional Depth. Aquarius, the second decade of November 2025 marks a pivotal shift in your energetic landscape. The cosmos begins to pull you inward, urging you to pause, reflect, and recalibrate. This is not a time for impulsive action. It's a time for strategic refinement. The planetary transits during this period are layered with emotional depth and mental complexity, offering you a rare opportunity to realign your long-term vision with your evolving inner truth. The Sun enters Sagittarius on November 11th, activating your 11th house of friendships, networks, and future aspirations. This shift brings a more expansive, philosophical tone to your awareness. Sagittarius energy encourages you to think big, dream boldly, and connect with others who share your ideals. But this isn't just about socializing, it's about aligning your goals with your values. The Sun here shines a light on your role within collective movements, your contribution to group dynamics, and your ability to lead with vision. You may feel a growing urge to redefine your place in the world, not based on status but on purpose. Just days later, Mercury turns retrograde on November 14th, also in Sagittarius. This retrograde is especially significant for Aquarius, as it directly impacts your 11th house themes. Mercury retrograde here prompts a deep review of your long-term plans, your social alliances, and your intellectual frameworks. Expect delays in group projects, miscommunications with peers, and a need to revisit old ideas. But don't resist this slowdown. It's a cosmic audit. You're being asked to refine your message, reassess your affiliations, and ensure that your aspirations are truly aligned with your authentic self. During this retrograde, you may find yourself questioning the direction of your goals. Are they still relevant? Are they rooted in your truth, or shaped by external expectations? Mercury retrograde in Sagittarius challenges you to examine the philosophical foundations of your ambitions. It's not enough to chase success. You must understand why you're chasing it. This is a time to revise your strategies, reconnect with your ideals, and prepare for a more aligned trajectory. Mars continues its sextile to Aquarius Decan 1 throughout this period, offering a stabilizing force amid the retrograde turbulence. Mars in Cancer may stir emotional intensity, but in harmonious aspect to your sign, it empowers you to act with emotional intelligence and strategic precision. You'll find that your instincts are sharper, your boundaries firmer, and your drive more focused. Use this energy to protect your peace, assert your needs, and initiate changes that support your emotional well-being. Venus remains in Sagittarius until November 26th, continuing to influence your 11th house. This placement enhances your charm in group settings, supports harmonious collaborations, and attracts allies who resonate with your vision. Venus in Sagittarius is adventurous, optimistic, and truth-seeking. For Aquarius, this transit encourages you to seek out relationships that expand your worldview, challenge your thinking, and support your growth. It's a time to refine your social circle, invest in meaningful connections, and let go of alliances that no longer serve your evolution. Jupiter retrograde in Gemini continues to influence your 5th house of creativity, pleasure, and self-expression. While retrograde, Jupiter's expansive energy turns inward, prompting a reassessment of your passions and creative pursuits. You're being asked to reconnect with what truly brings you joy, not what's trendy or expected, but what resonates with your soul. This is a time to explore new forms of expression, revisit old artistic projects, and redefine your relationship with pleasure. Jupiter retrograde here invites you to elevate your standards, refine your creative process, and align your joy with your truth. Neptune retrograde in Pisces continues to cast its dreamy haze over your second house of values, resources, and self-worth. This transit can blur boundaries between fantasy and reality, especially in financial matters or self-perception. Be cautious with spending, contracts, and value-based decisions. Neptune retrograde is a test of discernment. Pass it and your intuition will sharpen. You're being asked to clarify what you truly value, what you're willing to invest in, and what illusions you need to release. Uranus in Taurus continues its trine to your decan, supporting innovation and liberation in your fourth house of home and emotional foundations. Though not forming exact aspects during this period, its influence is felt as a background hum of restlessness. You may feel the urge to break free from outdated definitions of stability, restructure your living environment, or redefine your emotional base. Trust this impulse. It's part of your long-term awakening. Pluto direct in Capricorn continues to transform your 12th house of subconscious patterns, karmic cycles, and emotional residue. This is deep internal work. Pluto's influence here urges you to confront hidden fears, release emotional baggage, and reclaim your inner power. You may experience intense dreams, sudden insights, or emotional purges. Don't resist them. They're part of your soul's evolution. Pluto is not gentle, but it is precise. It strips away what's false and reveals what's real. The North Node in Aries continues to activate your third house of communication, learning, and mental agility. This karmic point is guiding you toward greater clarity, courage, and directness in your speech. You're being asked to refine your voice, speak your truth, and engage with ideas that stretch your thinking. The North Node here is not about comfort, it's about growth. Lean into conversations that challenge you, explore new perspectives, and trust your ability to articulate your vision. As the decade closes, the energy begins to intensify. Mercury retrograde deepens, the Sun gains momentum in Sagittarius, and Mars continues to support decisive action. You may feel a growing sense of urgency, a call to act on the insights you've gathered. But remember, clarity comes through reflection. The breakthroughs are coming, but they require patience, precision, and emotional depth. In summary, November 11th to 20th is a period of strategic reflection and emotional depth for Aquarius. The planetary transits urge you to slow down, look inward, and confront the patterns that hold you back. Mercury retrograde demands mental recalibration, while Mars and Venus offer the strength to act with grace. This is your moment to realign your goals, deepen your emotional intelligence, and prepare for the breakthroughs ahead. Chapter 3. November 21st to 30th. Breakthroughs and inner clarity. Aquarius, the final stretch of November 2025 is where the cosmic tide turns. After weeks of subtle shifts and strategic reflection, the universe now delivers clarity, revelation, and the momentum to act. This is not a quiet ending, it's a crescendo. The planetary alignments in this third decade are designed to awaken your creative fire, sharpen your emotional insight, and push you toward a more authentic expression of self. The full moon in Gemini on November 23rd is the defining moment of this period. It lights up your fifth house, the domain of creativity, romance, joy, and self-expression. Full moons bring culmination, illumination, and emotional release. In Gemini, this lunation activates your mental faculties, communication style, and expressive instincts. For Aquarius, this is a moment of truth. You may suddenly realize what passions have been neglected, what creative urges are ready to be unleashed, or what emotional truths can no longer be ignored. This full moon is not subtle. It demands honesty. You may feel a surge of inspiration, a need to speak your truth, or a desire to break free from emotional constraints. The fifth house is where you shine, not for approval but for the sheer joy of being yourself. This lunation may bring clarity around a romantic connection, a creative project, or a personal desire that's been simmering beneath the surface. It's time to express, not suppress. At the same time, Mercury continues its retrograde journey through Sagittarius, still influencing your 11th house of friendships and long-term goals. The retrograde deepens during this period, pulling you further into review mode. Miscommunications within groups may intensify, or you may find yourself revisiting old alliances, unfinished collaborations, or forgotten dreams. But this is not regression, it's refinement. Mercury retrograde here is helping you clear mental clutter, reassess your social landscape, and realign your aspirations with your evolving truth. As Mercury retraces its steps, you may uncover insights that were previously hidden. Conversations from the past may resurface, offering closure or new understanding. Ideas that once seemed far-fetched may now feel viable. This is a time to listen more than you speak, to observe patterns, and to trust the wisdom of hindsight. The answers you seek are not ahead of you, they're already within you, waiting to be recognized. Venus enters Capricorn on November 26th, shifting your focus to the 12th house, the realm of the subconscious, solitude, and spiritual integration. This is a quieter, more introspective placement for Venus. It invites you to explore the hidden dimensions of love, beauty, and self-worth. You may feel a pull toward privacy, emotional healing, or creative work done behind the scenes. Venus in the 12th house is not about external validation. It's about inner peace. This transit supports emotional closure, forgiveness, and the release of old attachments. If you've been holding on to past disappointments, unspoken feelings, or unresolved romantic threads, Venus in Capricorn offers the grace to let go. It's a time to nurture your inner world, to reconnect with your spiritual values, and to find beauty in stillness. This is also a powerful period for artistic inspiration, especially through music, poetry, or visual arts that tap into the subconscious. Pluto, now direct in Capricorn, continues its slow but relentless transformation of your 12th house. This long-term transit is reshaping your inner world, dismantling outdated beliefs and exposing hidden fears. During this final stretch of November, Pluto's influence intensifies. You may experience moments of profound emotional clarity, sudden realizations, or a deep urge to purge what no longer serves your soul. This is not about surface-level change, it's about soul-level rebirth. Pluto's direct motion signals that the time for internal processing is over. Now the transformation must be embodied. You're being asked to integrate the lessons of the past, to release the ghosts of old identities, and to step into a more empowered version of yourself. This is not easy work, but it is sacred. Trust that what's falling away is making space for something more aligned, more authentic, and more enduring. Jupiter retrograde in Gemini continues to influence your 5th house, reinforcing the full moon's themes. Jupiter retrograde here invites you to revisit your creative passions, reassess your relationship with joy, and explore new ways of expressing your truth. This is a time to question what pleasure really means to you. Are you chasing excitement or cultivating fulfillment? Jupiter's wisdom lies in expansion through meaning. Use this time to align your joy with your values. Uranus in Taurus, still trine your decan, continues to support innovation and emotional liberation in your 4th house. Though not forming exact aspects during this period, its influence is steady and supportive. You may feel a growing desire to redefine your sense of home, to break free from emotional conditioning, or to create a foundation that reflects your evolving identity. Uranus here is not disruptive, it's liberating. Trust the changes that feel aligned even if they defy convention. Neptune retrograde in Pisces continues to influence your 2nd house of values and resources. This transit can create confusion around finances, self-worth, or material priorities. But it also offers spiritual insight. You're being asked to look beyond the numbers, beyond the surface, and to reconnect with what truly matters. Neptune retrograde is a test of clarity. If you can see through the illusion, you'll find a deeper sense of abundance. The North Node in Aries continues to activate your 3rd house of communication and learning. This karmic point urges you to speak boldly, think independently, and engage with ideas that stretch your mind. During this final decade of November, you may feel a surge of mental energy, a desire to write, speak, teach, or learn. Follow it. The North Node is guiding you toward intellectual sovereignty. As November draws to a close, the energy begins to stabilize. The full moon's revelations settle, Mercury's retrograde insights deepen, and Venus's quiet grace begins to soothe. You're emerging from a month of profound inner work, strategic reflection, and emotional awakening. Now you're ready to move forward, not with noise but with clarity. In summary, November 21st to 30th is a period of breakthroughs and inner clarity for Aquarius. The full moon reveals your creative truth, Mercury retrograde refines your vision, and Venus and Pluto guide you inward. This is your moment to integrate, to express, and to prepare for the next chapter with wisdom and authenticity. Aquarius, November 2025 has cracked open your inner world and reshaped your cosmic path. With clarity rising from chaos and breakthroughs born from reflection, you're stepping into December with renewed purpose. The stars didn't just shift, you did. Trust your evolution, own your voice, and let your future unfold with brilliance.